Well, here we are at the Steel City Gym, alongside none other than the IBF flyweight champion of the world, Sonny Edwards. And you know what Anthony's like, Sonny. You know, he's very into his clothes. He has to really analyse what everyone's wearing, the first thing. Your colour coordination is absolutely on point. Are you happy with that?
Oh, mate, I'm impressed. I've just been asking him about the Jordans a lot. No, he looks the part. The boy looks the part.
I'm just a bit annoyed my shoes aren't in shot, to be honest. I'm looking at the...
We'll make sure everyone
Change
sees
that,
it.
we'll get it in.
Maybe for the thumbnail. Maybe for the thumbnail.
Go on, Seb. Get the camera down now. We've got to see the shoes. There we go.
You know, these are girl shoes. You can probably tell, but they only go up to size 7. So if you like them, you can't wear them if you've got size 8.
It's all good. It's all good. We've been watching you a little bit earlier as well, because you've been kind of boxer turned coach, but that's something that you've always been doing as well. You were obviously just urging the lads on when they were doing that horror run.
I think the way I've been for a long time, I've always been sort of, I look at boxing through a certain lens, and I can maybe communicate it a certain way. So, you know, when I'm working alongside my fighters in my gyms, I don't mind giving my expertise, say, or my help or motivation or whatever I'm thinking they might need. I like the fact that in my gym, I'm probably looked up to in a relative light, where when I talk boxing or when I maybe have something to say, it gets listened to. You know what I mean? Not everything I say is right. I'm not pretending to be that person, but I feel like I can look and dissect, and I know the fighters in here quite well. So once I've got that relationship with them where, you know, I'm not doing it in a way of I'm trying to make you feel bad, or I'm not doing it in a way of I'm trying to put you down, or it's always from a place of me wanting this career, my environment that I train in, just to be the best it possibly can be. We're very competitive here. You can come down any day, the standard of cleanliness, the standard of training, the standard of everything will always be the same. We've got a good thing going on down here, and I think, you know what I mean, if you really dial back to the last 5 years, the results of Steel City Gym have been probably second to none in this country, I would say. Maybe, a lot of the storylines weren't far along enough for there to be as many of the big standout nights. But I think for the amount of fights we've had, the level of fights we've had, the titles we've won, and the relatively pretty much fights that we've lost, I think there's been 2 in the last 70, 80 professional fights that have come out of this gym where we've been on the wrong end of the decision. So, yeah, I think that pays a great testament to the work that Grant's doing down here, the work that all the boys are doing in the gym, the trust and the faith that we have in each other, the push we give each other. Like you said, you've seen, and Junaid helped pushing Dalton there. Yeah. That run is a killer, and it takes you to, the reason why we do that run is to take you to dark places, to take you to them. So it's not, oh no, someone's struggling on this run, head's falling off. It's no, this should be happening. This is where we want to be. You want them last 5 minutes to be hell, and yeah. So it's, if sometimes I need to be there, and maybe, you know, don't get bitter, get better. You know what I mean? I'll do it. I'll do it. And I feel like the lads, they welcome the camaraderie, because, you know, Ant knows, and Ant can probably tell you that there's a lot of professional boxing gyms, probably around the world, but definitely in this country, that when they've got the sort of reputation of being a stand-out professional gym, it kind of turns into more of a conveyor belt, a workplace. You get your time slots, the fighters are crossing each other's paths most of the time, and yeah, but in this place it's very personal. You know, we see each other outside, we socialise, we turn up to the shows together, 2-3 cars up. It's like it's really what we're about. And if you're a good person with good intentions, and more importantly, you're ready to dedicate yourself and leave your pride and ego at the door, then Steel City is a place I think any talent can really get harnessed. I think if you're coming into the sport with the wrong intentions, you want to be famous, you like being a boxer, you don't want to put the hard work in, you want all the fights and all the spars in your favour, you don't want to listen, then yeah, you're not going to last 2 minutes here. And I think it's as simple as that. It's too accountable, and the lads coming up on this show, Dalton Smith, Nico, LaVeyas and Junaid Boston, you know, we've got the spine of the Sheffield Arena show, been waiting a long time for this to be happening, even though I'm not involved pretty much at all. It's still a big part for the gym. I mean, if this show goes well with Dalton headlining it, with all the profile and the platform he's already built up, Junaid, massive ticket seller, Nico, massive ticket seller on small halls in obscure places. They're selling 300-400 tickets, not being able to get any more. The response to the show has been phenomenal from what we're hearing. We're asking for more tickets, can't get them. So hopefully this is really the big step now into the sort of the Steel City era of Sheffield boxing. Because if we start ticking off 2-3 events in Sheffield a year with a couple of our fighters in the arena, it's just gonna, generate that local support that you really need. It's fundamental. But when you haven't got the headliners or the undercard ticket sellers, there's a lot of sort of fighters that get lost in the middle from around the area. So hopefully with Dalton, Junaid, Nico, not just them, there's other lads as well. I'm just speaking for the Steel City boys. But hopefully Yorkshire can go in for like a resurgence. We've had some good fighters, some good champions, but I don't think anyone for a couple of years has really captured the imagination of an audience for a too prolonged period of time in Sheffield. And maybe outside of that, I think there's a few gaps in the UK market anyway. But I'm looking forward to seeing over the next 12 months, 18 months, how it sort of pans out.
Sonny, you sort of just answered my question then, but I'm forever singing the praises of Grant Smith. I see the work he's done here. I've been lucky enough to see it close up, and for years at a very high level, at all levels, right from the amateurs, right through to world titles with yourself, soon to be British titles with his own son. Do you see this as, and it's not really, he's not the kind of coach to say that, but it's a bit of a coming out night for Grant to show his stable off to the people of Sheffield. Obviously a much bigger audience, but like you just said then, this can start something huge off. And obviously with Dalton now, the football club's behind him, obviously he's got August the 6th to take care of. You just don't know where this can snowball to, but you've got to be happy, because I know your relationship, to see what this is going to give Grant. I'm not saying he's in it for the exposure, but it's going to give Grant a little bit of credit that I feel he deserves. It's long overdue.
Yeah, I feel like everyone deserves flowers. I think the man picking up the rubbish in the street deserves flowers. It's a human right. You do something well, you get a nice feeling or reward. And Grant, he's dedicated so many hours. I know, because I've been there for most of them. Years even before you met me, but I met Grant. The reason why I ever even considered, or only considered, Grant when I came to Sheffield is because of my relationship with Dalton. He was one of the top lads growing up. I remember seeing him for the first time. I was 12, he was 11. Schoolboy finals, he had like a skinhead, but with like a line around there. Yes. You'll see a picture somewhere on these walls, yeah. And I remember the kids were laughing at him because we had one of our lads was fighting one of their lads, sort of thing. Like Dalton was fighting a lad from Repton, I was close with them lot. And I remember they was laughing. I just remember saying one thing. I went, well, he must be able to fight like fuck with a haircut like that, yeah. Yes. And he really could. He beat that kid, he beat the next kid, and I was always on to him. And then I'd boxed for England a few times. I'd met Grant. When I came up, the way my mindset worked is, I'm this age, I'm an amateur. I need to find the best amateur my age, my sort of bracket, and go there because he's doing something well. That was my mindset at the time. It weren't, this gym's got more reputation or they've trained this many. I just wanted to know what was doing the best right now, and that's why I went. And 7-8 years later, I won an ABA title with Grant. I've won international titles, British titles, world titles, defended them. Done all of that. Dalton's obviously on his own path. Even Grant had my brother for 18 months, turned him into someone losing for a world title to winning a world title. So he's done so much in such a short period of time that if you sort of really started trying to underpin what he's done in the months he's done them, I think there'll be very few other trainers with the amount of fighters and the position he's worked with to achieve remotely. I mean, he's got 2 world champions in the last however many years in one weight, and as well as all the intermediates in between it. And when you come down here, top to bottom, you're working with some very, very good lads. We've got, I think, 3, 4, maybe more ex-GB fighters, international fighters from the amateurs. Obviously, there's a lot of learning, but, this is kind of like a workshop of excellence and developing exceptional talent. Yeah. And I don't think it's coincidence that I joined 7-8 years ago and now everything's going really well. So who knows? Snowball effect, we don't know.
The Sonny Edwards effect.
Maybe.
As you mentioned, a lot of talent here, and the link up with Grant has been brilliant for yourself. You have that belt now. So you mentioned your brother as well, and we know the history with Martinez. That's the obvious question to ask you. Where are we with that? Because we saw you a few months ago put on a masterclass against Wasim. It set it up all nicely. You've been playing nice with Eddie Hearn. So where are we?
Well, do you know what I mean? Eddie got a bit offended a few months ago. We won't talk about that because I apologised. Like a humble small cog in a major, business move should. But I did wake up to a message he must have sent me. I woke up about 6:30. I don't know what time zone Eddie's in right now. I can't keep track of his movements, but it was about 12:30 at night, my time. He commented on my picture. He doesn't follow me as well. So it's kind of like, right now, it's kind of like a bitter ex. It's kind of like a bitter ex. He put catfish under my picture of my game. And I don't know where it comes from, but, like, don't get me wrong, I woke up with a smile on my face, and as you can imagine. Gave my little reply. I said to Eddie, let's keep the name calling until he signed the contract, because the last time I started name calling, I was told that I won't get in a fight. I had to apologise. So, we'll keep the name calling until pen to paper, booked flights, all of that. And then, but I'm buzzing. I think the fight's done. To my knowledge, I green-lighted it 18 months ago in interviews, but 2 weeks ago, I agreed finances. I just said, I'll go anywhere in the world. Anywhere, doesn't matter to me. I wanted to go to Mexico. I want to go to Mexico still. I want to return the favour of what he did to my big brother in front of me in my hometown. That in the storyline at the end of the... You know what I mean? They might make a film about that. Who knows? Where my story might get big enough to. But that, for me, ticks so many more boxes. Like, I like all the things that antagonise me. I like all the things that stimulate me, that you know, stack up the chips in my favour. I went, come on, we'll go to a football pitch in the mountains of Mexico, and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll still fight you. Facts, and I'm not joking. I'm not just saying it because it sounds good to come up my mouth. I don't care, because once you're in survival mode, it's me versus him and 2 arms and 2 legs. Nothing else matters. If I start going in there thinking, oh, well, they've dragged me over to Mexico, I don't want to be here, I'm beat before I get on the plane, I'll stay at home. If anything, the whole time I've been going, nah, I'm coming to Mexico. I'm not even inviting you to my country. I'm coming to yours. Now imagine, and someone comes to your house,
banging on your front door,
and they've slapped your brother up or something, or you find out that someone's come to your brother's house and slapped them up. You're going to go to their house and slap them up. And that's just kind of the mentality that I approach my whole life with, and this is perfect. And you also get to give me a chance to prove that I'm the number 1 flyweight in the world. I'm the number 1 with the WBC, the IBF, the Ring magazine should be attached. And on top of all that, the greatest achievement and the greatest accolade and the longest competition I've ever had in my life, you get to give me the chance to show the whole world that I'm the better Edwards brother. Like, completely convincingly, and then we could just end the discussions from there on onwards. So, like, you can't give me all them opportunities to do a 136-minute fight and expect me not to run away with it and reach levels I've never reached before. Like, you can't. I'm on a nutritionist. I pay him on an arm and a leg, but he cooks all my food already. I'm 14 weeks out potentially. I've never done that. I'm normally eating takeaways 3-4 weeks out. Seriously, because I do everything so easy. This whole career so far to this point has all been within myself. All within myself. I train hard. I know what to do. Every time you see me in the gym, I work. I like fighting. I like boxing. That's not an issue. But certain other things, like my diet and just little 1% physio, warming up, stuff like that. But I'm not doing it. I'm on it now from a long time. Every last
percentage you can get out yourself.
I come back from Dubai for my last fight. I had 3 days over there. Came back, had 3 days rest. I was in the gym on a Monday. I tried sparring on the Wednesday when lads were coming down, and Grant wouldn't let me. I'll come in the gym next day after half moaning a couple of sessions. I got sparring Wednesday. I've just fought 12-round world title fight. Defended, had a fight because I wanted to. And I come back, I want to fight, I want to spar. That's me. Like, I don't do anything else. I don't get that much enjoyment out of anything else. Like, I just want to fight. I would have fought Martinez 4, 5, 6, less than that. I would fight every single weekend if it was deemed possible. If we could make a league, and some people that thought, instead of sparring, I'm just going to fight every week, and then just do my fucking ice, and then go back in next week and just stay fit. A couple of runs on Monday, Tuesday, go again. I would do that. Get paid like footballers then, and I'll be flying. I'd be just moving around for 12 rounds constantly. I'll be flying.
Finally, from my side of view, we know, like you say, you'll ruffle a few feathers on social media, but we've noticed recently there's been a few back and forth. Everything respectable with Bam Rodriguez. You're very confident you come through the Martinez fight, You win that. That's going to set that up nicely. Is that realistically? Is that the fight that... Listen, the Martinez fight's the fight you want. But after that, the Rodriguez fight potentially is an absolute super fight. Is that a fight that you're really looking at?
Well, put it this way, Ant, and I could pull out my phone in my pocket, and I'll show you a message after this interview. When Bam, the trainer, mentioned me the first time, straight after that fight, when everyone was tagging me in, Bam's going to be the one to beat up Sonny. That day, I sent a message, because we're in the middle of Martinez negotiations. I sent a message, multiple things I said, but one of them was, tell Eddie if he wants Martinez, I'll sign 2 fights. I'll sign Martinez straight into Rodriguez.
Yes.
If you're scared, if you don't need a rematch or whatever you need to do to make these fights happen, just know that in earliest convenience, I want Martinez followed by Bam Rodriguez. If we can somehow find a way to skip all the mandatories and the intermediate fights that people don't really want to see, and we can just get straight Martinez Rodriguez, I will happily oblige. I'll go to Mexico to beat him, and you told me you want to come to the UK. Okay, that will be my homecoming in a massive fight after capturing the world title, the Ring magazine, and coming over. And then I won't be like, oh, let me have 7 defenses against random mediocre European opposition. No, number one, him. Oh, you're coming down the weight. You just jumped up 2-1. Okay, come down, fight me. Who's next? Nakatani. Okay, we'll go to Japan on the 1st of January. All right, who's next? That's genuinely my career, and that's how my fights will go, as long as the other side are willing to make the deal. I've had a phone call for the first time about one fight in 18 months. And now look what we're talking about. Fight's done. Did I price myself out? No. Did I say I won't go to Mexico? No. Am I asking about what gloves he's wearing, drug testing? No, I don't care. I just want to fight. Nothing else matters.
So, do you know what? Once you loosen up a bit and start chatting, you're going to be a great interview.
No, I can't do the interview. I have to be interviewed. So no one else will ever get a word to say in Edgewood.
No, it's all good. And listen, we appreciate your time today. It's great watching you go through the motions with the lads as well. And we look forward to that big fight as well, because that's going to be an absolute cracker, isn't it? Can't wait for that.
Cannot wait for it.
Good man. Thanks, Sonny.